Hey Leo. So what I'm doing is I'm actually doing another reading for you. And this is for, it's for September 8th through the 15th, 2019. And this is going to be spiritual guidance. It's kind of what you need to know for this. It's going to be a big week next week. The water guardian here. Okay, so basically there's a big shift that's going on right now, and so that's why a lot of our relationships are being challenged and just tipped upside down. Seer. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to look at 5 oracle cards, and this is going to be more in depth about you and your relationship with yourself, and maybe your journey. Not maybe anything. It is going to be about your journey here. Okay, so we've got the angels and the ancestors. We have the water guardian, and that talks about connecting with your emotions. We have the seer here, see beyond the current situation. You see the seer? Okay, the water guardian. I love that blue. Isn't it beautiful? Okay, and then we have coming to life. Nice. It's like buckle up. Okay, and then we're going to do 2 cards from the Menti Oracle. And then when we're done with these, we're going to follow up with like 5 tarot cards, and that's been wrapping up the readings quite well. And then I'll give more of that personal, if there's a relationship that needs to jump forward, it'll come there. So I keep the waters pure. Let's see, I think that's better here. Depends on the color on the cards, with how the lighting. I honor animals with reverence. I love animals. Okay, and so we'll do the tarot at the end here, okay? So we're going to start with the enchanted map, and we're looking at coming to life, okay? And that is 29, which is 11, and that's kind of like a Heaven's Gate thing, is 11. When you look at your life, okay, so something beautiful is being born in your life. When you look at your life, can you see how you've grown and evolved over time? Perhaps you shed skins and identities and created new ones. Or at the very least, matured in your ideas about yourself and the world you inhabit. You know things take time, and Spirit's timetable is rarely in sync with your own. This card indicates that a long-held dream is beginning to show signs of life. You must not try to coax it along or shape it according to your desires. Spirit knows the best form for the manifestation of this dream, and your life can become even better than you could possibly imagine. Now is the time for reverence and awe. Allow the contours of your path to be carved by the hands of the divine. All you have to do is show up. I love that card. And now here's your guidance. Here's the divine showing up. Water guardian. Take time to understand how you really feel. Know that your sensitivity is not a curse, but a gift that allows you to receive and understand messages directly from your soul. Water is the element that is in your blood, your tears, and your flesh. The water guardian represents, there's 2 cards of water here, interesting. The water guardian represents the angels of water who can help you dive within to understand the depth of your emotions. These angels are all about helping you see that your emotions aren't just the feelings that are on the surface. They're also the old emotions you may have locked deep within the shadows of your soul. Through helping you acknowledge your deeper emotions, the angels of water help you hear the messages these have for you, and to unlock your intuitive powers and the energies of abundance. Your angels want you to know that it's okay to feel the emotions that are surfacing in you at this time. It doesn't matter if they are joyous or sad. They are all powerful messengers that allow you to understand what you want and need. Taking time to breathe and acknowledge them lets them flow through you rather than crashing down on you as an overwhelming wave. Note that there are also intuitive psychic messages arising in you at this time, and unless you acknowledge everything as it comes up, you may miss important guidance that can lead you to support and love. It's interesting because when we block some, sometimes we block all. Seer. Did you know you were a seer? Did you know that you had those? Did it kind of make you afraid a little bit? Would you realize that you could see? That's not an unusual reaction because our society really doesn't allow room for that, do they? The old society. Look beyond the current situation, raise your vibration, and focus on love. Most indigenous peoples have a seer in the family or tribe. Seers are the intelligent and intuitive beings who serve as direct channels for information on what's occurring now and what's about to unfold. Their energy isn't about predicting the future for you, but about showing you how your intentions are creating it. A true seer will help you see that your intentions can change, therefore so can your future. The message of this card is to let the clairvoyant within you rise up so that you can see the way forward yourself with your spiritual eyes. You are being encouraged by your ancestral guides and angels to see beyond what you think is happening now. Don't allow your ego or doubts to play games with you. Instead of seeing yourself as stuck or lost, know that you're in an energetic holding space while the universe recalibrates a path that is more favorable for you. Angels of light are upgrading your energy so your experiences are more enjoyable. You're moving towards something extremely uplifting and enlightening. So stay calm and keep your eyes on the prize. And you know what? Didn't this card say that too? It's coming to life, that you were being recalibrated and things were being worked on. That is beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to go to the Amante. And this is, I keep the waters pure. Okay. Bet you didn't know this would be about your emotions, huh? $36. Okay. In Egyptian mythology, Nun or Nu is a deification of water and understood to be the representation of the primeval water of chaos, which existed before giving birth to the land. From an elemental standpoint, water is represented as a realm of emotion, the subconscious, and intuition. Alchemically speaking, water is a feeling which finds a relationship to earth as a sensation, and through a connection of these elements, a structure of thought. structured thought is born. So I think it's interesting that they're talking about connecting with your emotions, but also once you do that, your intuition will be just on point. So if you're wondering why you didn't know, why you couldn't see it, that may be why. In decisions you were blocked because you were literally blocked from your emotions. A complex element and force of nature, water is malleable, a malleable influence which can transmute and transform, purify, cleanse, create and destroy, conceive and birth. Wow. And holding the intention of I keep the waters pure, we look beyond the element or deity to water as a metaphor, whose lessons permeate substance and spirit, as water is a life force that is ever present. Fluent in lunar language as it moves through the tides and the symbolic representation of the subconscious mind. The path of self-inquiry and initiation into higher levels of thought and experience asks the candidate to make the unconscious conscious by exploring the abyss of the subconscious mind. It's like turning the light on in that room. What's in there? Purification first comes through identification. And in diving deep into the water of uncharted darkness, the process of transformation begins. You will free yourself when you can learn to be neutral and follow the instructions of your heart without letting things perturb you. This is the way of Ma'at. That's an Egyptian proverb. The depths of the subconscious may show us our demons such as fear, hatred, and anger, which in turn manifest into the material world through detrimental actions like tyranny, fanaticism, and ignorance. As we look into this reflecting pool of unresolved trauma, we must be reminded that all we will ever see looking back is our own reflection. Wow! For the reflection to transform, we must as well. So it's through our own lens of lack or pain that we see the chaos and unhappiness around us. Not only that, it keeps us unhappy. It is through finding love for the unresolved trauma, giving light to darkness, and allowing the beating of our heart to transmute the images of the past that we can clearly visualize what is possible and move forward fluidly. Like Narcissus, who drowned in a shallow pool, admiring his own beauty. This beauty, your essence, is a pure expression of truth, which can only spring from a cleansed subconscious. Pure beauty hydrates the soul and reflects light in every wave. Our nightmares then become dreams, fear becomes love, hatred becomes acceptance, anger becomes passion. Tyranny shifts to democracy, fanaticism to philosophy, and ignorance to awareness. With the light heart and purified mind, even the demons can transform into angels, and any prior perception of antithesis is now seen as what makes our life's thesis that much more profound. In making the unconscious conscious, each ripple of purity expands into the collective, allowing for a more fluid evolution to flow forward with a feather heart, connected to all but attached to no thing. So by looking at the pain of the past trauma and turning the light on the emotions and trauma that we don't want to see, we honor it and love it and forgive ourselves. Maybe it's forgiving others too. We transform all of it into something that empowers us. And once we're empowered, then we don't have to live in fear anymore. And our hearts and minds can open, especially our hearts, because they don't have to be afraid anymore, right? So we're going to do the 5 cards. Oh, thank you. I honor animals with reverence. $13. In ancient Egypt, cats were held in high esteem and treated with great care. Royalty would dress their feline companions in golden adornments and happily allowed them to eat off their plates. These sacred creatures helped protect the community food supply by fighting off mice and cobras, and punishment for harming a feline was incredibly severe. Bastet, an Egyptian goddess often represented by half feline and half woman, was worshipped as a safeguard of the pharaoh and the keeper of women's secrets, the goddess of home and childbirth, and the protectress of felines and their caretakers. The concept of the sacred nature of the animal, not just felines, has rippled through many cultures beyond Egypt, including the totemic animals of Native American tradition, spirit animals within the shamanic philosophy, as well as spirit familiars in magical practice. In embodying the ideal of treating all animals with reverence, we find a version of every life as something to be cherished and a magic behind every life force, no matter how big or how small. Through observation of respect for the unique characteristic of each individual animal spirit, we can allow the opportunity to relate to and apply the archetypal energy each embodies to the fractal design of our soul's personality. And removing the ephemeral mask of the human ego, we are left with the perennial wisdom within the animal mundi, or world soul, the intrinsic invisible spirit that permeates all life. So basically, Leo, the animals don't have the ego. They connect directly. So our ego, by conquering the ego, okay, it's kind of like conquering those feelings of trauma. I recognize you, I respect you, thank you. And then moving on and making this decision if what the ego wants is truly what's best for all, especially you. One thing that the ego may do is work against us when it is not monitored, when it's not honored as a check and part of the check and balance, you know. Okay, so now we're going to do the tarot. We have the moon. Love it. More emotions. Wow. Wow. 4 cups. The devil reversed. 4 cups is reversed also. Devil reversed. King of Wands reversed. Eight of Pentacles. Alright, so the first thing that jumps out to me, I'll just go with the first card. This would be the moon. Moon speaks of intuition, emotions. It also speaks of secrets and trauma. When it's reversed, it's acting on trauma, where it may be ruling us and we don't want to look at it, so we hide it with behavior and addiction. But this way it's just talking plain information or lack thereof. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 cards about emotion and intuition. Interesting, huh? Okay. Four of Cups reversed. This is missing. Missing one of the major, something that was right in front of you the whole time, and that may be your own feelings. That may be your own history. That may be the emotions that have been blocked, and therefore you can't, it blocks your ability to connect with things. And maybe even people, probably. Because it's about emotions, especially if it's a woman you're trying to connect to. Either way, emotional connection is important. When this is reversed, it's saying, as a reader, to me, it says, I'm not going to miss that anymore. I know what I miss now. I'm willing to work on it, change it. The Devil reverse says, I'm not going to allow ego or addiction or negativity to distract me. I'm not going to allow it to rule my life and keep me from having a good life. This is conquering your ego, conquering addiction, conquering the darkness. That is beautiful. The King of Wands reversed. Now this one, because you're fire, this is fire too. And this is fire, but this is the devil. Anyway, this maybe you're still struggling with the emotions, and you're, having the emotions but not really wanting to hear about it. Knowing you need to deal with this, and you want to work on this. This is the Eight of Pentacles, wanting to master this in your life. I'm willing to work on it, but it still is not something you're comfortable with. You don't have confidence in this. The King of Wands reversed. It's kind of like, how am I going to do this? This is not something I have experience on. I feel like I can move forward with. But you can. Because you're being guided. Remember, all you have to do is show up and say, okay, I'm ready. I need help. Okay, who are you going to ask for help, right? There be your guides, God, your higher self, the Creator. Once you say, I'm willing to heal this because I want the best life I can have, there's two cards here saying, up here in the Oracle, saying they are recalibrating your life. All you got to do is show up. Okay, I don't know what to do. I don't feel inspired to look at it this way, but okay. I'm showing up. And so when you start to get that nervousness or anxiety about how big this is to uncover these emotions, just show up. Breathe and know it's being worked on, and it's going to flow easily. Just trust it. And I know, man, and for somebody that's used to powering through whatever, trust it is not what we want to hear, is it? But we're all being asked to trust it. So you're not alone there either. My thoughts are with you. I hope you enjoyed this. You can let me know. Take care.